We can't get off this subject. I gotta ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife?
No.
Me either.
What?
Laughing.
When I saw this video, the very first thing that came to my head was Priscilla, the Queen Maker, has been saying men don't love their wives. Men are not capable of love. And a lot of people used to debunk that statement and saying that she doesn't know what she's saying. Why would you say men do not love? Men love their wife, they like them. Okay, Alpha. I'm not surprised. It's just that I'm surprised this is on the internet. Like they're just sitting down and saying it casually. This is how they sit down and just talk about things casually when they hang out with themselves, when they are together alone. This is how they just talk about their wife. Like, I don't love my wife. Oh, I also don't love my wife. I don't like her. I don't even think she loves me. And this is why they do so many things that they do. They don't spend quality time with their wife. They don't care. They don't appreciate them. They don't see them, right? And that's why they can even stay in a miserable marriage and they will not file for divorce. And that is why women are the one filing for divorce, because even though a man does not love you, so far it's benefiting something from you, it will stay. A woman can get very disgusted if they don't love you, they don't like you anymore. They start feeling they cannot actually stay with you. They get tired. No matter the benefits they're getting from you, if a woman doesn't love you anymore, even you will hate yourself, okay? But when a man does not love you, they don't show it, okay? And even if they show it, they'll still want to stay with you and try to manipulate you and make you stay because they're still getting one or two things from you.
We can't get off this subject. I gotta ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife?
No.
Me either.
What?
I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's
Okay.
it's overrated.
No.
Listen,
Then why?
listen.
Okay.
See.
Y'all need to explain that shit to me then.
I have a feeling. No, I'm not in love with my wife.
What?
Don't even know her.
What are you doing? Why?
This is our 8th. Hold on, we got married in 2016. This is year number 8. September 8th, we'll be married 8 years. No. No. Ruby D and Ozzy Davis, right?
Yeah.
65 years married or something crazy, right?
Yeah.
So when he died, Will and Jada went over there. This is before all the Will and Jada.
Yeah.
They went over there for like some type of talk, counseling talk. She goes, Ruby, who's 80, 90, goes, how long you known that boy? And Jada said, and Jada said, 20 years. And she goes, you don't know him, honey.
Shit.
Yeah.
All my relationship with my wife is a relationship with myself. I'm just discovering parts of me, bro.
Yeah.
We're lying to ourselves so fucking much to hold up this story or this ideal,
The fantasy.
without, as opposed to just really fucking dealing with what's there and accepting it
Well,
to the best of your ability.
I understand this. Now, how do you get women to understand that? Right?
But
Get them to bow out of the fantasy.
you get them by you bowing out.
And my wife thinks she's in love with me, probably.
It's a buzzword. Yeah. It's a concept that's been propagated that we've adopted and creates an unrealistic expectation that we look for, and when it's not present, we feel something is wrong.
Yeah, we've allowed it to condition ourselves to that concept being a governance.
One of the things that pop up the most about me and my wife and our conversations that we have, we admit.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I didn't marry my wife because of who my wife is. I married my wife because of who I am. I have a purpose on this bitch.
Right.
And I'm going to fulfill that. What makes you special is I chose you, not because of who you are. You get to dictate who you are and define that for yourself. And when we have these conversations with other couples and they sit and look, they sit and they think something wrong with us. But you know what? When we're around each other, we're laughing. The shit is genuine. It's authentic. Ain't nobody doing no wild shit. Whatever it is what it is. And they are so not used to people. I'm not in love with my wife. I don't think she's necessarily in love with me either, but we have committed to each other in a way that we haven't committed to anyone else.
And that's a surrender, right?
That's what makes it fucking special.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they can't get out of this notion, bro, that it's about a person.
Yeah.
It's about the purpose, not the person.
We can't get off this subject. I gotta ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife? No, me either. What? I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's okay. It's overrated. No. Listen. Then why? Listen. Okay. See? How do you explain that shit to me then? I had a feeling. No, I'm not in love with my wife. What? I don't even know her.
Those men consider themselves good guys. I just know it. I just know it. Imagine being married to that man and coming across him openly, proudly on the internet saying that he's not in love with you after 7 years of being together, that he doesn't love you, and laughing and giggling and thinking it's a tee-hee moment with his boys. I think that one of the worst things that has happened is locker room talk becoming mainstream. Locker room talk, leaving the locker room, men recording themselves, posting on the internet, but it's also been one of the best things because I can say that men say this shit. But then I will have men telling me I'm making it up and when we're exaggerating, I don't understand what they're saying. I'm just this, I'm just that, I'm a bitter woman. And then there will always be men posting it to the internet for everyone to see. And they will defend themselves and say that they're good men, that they're nice men, that they consider that you just don't understand what they're saying. We understand perfectly well what they're saying. And this is what I have a hard time with. This day and age, loving men is you as a woman waiting until they publicly embarrass you. You loving a man is just counting down the days until your public humiliation. I don't think at this point you would ever catch me openly stating I was dating someone. Like maybe say that I was dating someone. I don't think I'll ever do a hard launch, a soft launch, because I don't trust them to not publicly humiliate me at some point. This is the state of dating. And here's the thing, it's always been this way. It's always been this way. It's just now they have podcast mics. Now, instead of just being publicly embarrassed or, you know, in your circle of friends, your close acquaintances, they're just doing it on the internet.
We can't get off this subject. I gotta ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife? No, me either. What? I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's okay. It's overrated. No. Listen. Then why? Okay.
There are so many women in the comments of that video saying, I hope this type of love never finds me. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Ladies, that's the only love, quote unquote, that's out there, okay? If anything, y'all should be happy. Y'all should be happy that two men got up on a podcast and said that they don't love their wives, okay? That should give you a sense of peace because men have been very blatant. Men have been very open and very honest about how they view marriage. They are constantly telling women, marriage isn't about your happiness. Marriage isn't about your happiness. Ladies, y'all were sold a dream that you should be marrying for love. So what does that tell you? When men are getting on podcasts telling you that they've been married for 8 years and they don't love their wife, that you should quit getting married to a man for love because they don't see it the same way that you see it. They keep telling us over and over, it's duty, it's duty, it's duty. These men are not getting married to y'all because they love you. See, when I made my video talking about what I learned about men in the strip club and how a lot of these men really don't like their wives, so many married women came and attacked me for no fucking reason. And I have men right here that are married that are literally saying the same thing that I have been saying. The reason why marriage is not a flex is because men and women get married for two completely different reasons. Men get married because patriarchy tells them that it's what they're supposed to do. It is a box that they are checking off. That's why they keep telling us it's it's a duty. It's a duty. Women don't look at marriage as a duty because marriage is sold to women as a form of love. If he marries me, if he chooses me, it means that he loves me. It means that I am valued. It means that I am worthy. And these men are literally telling you it does not mean any of that. It's overrated. They are not getting married to women that they love because it's duty. It's just something that they are told that they were supposed to do, and they're doing it. You should have a sense of freedom and liberation hearing these podcast bros say this, because you should then release all of this stress that you have over being chosen, being picked, getting married. When is it going to be my time? Why are you waiting for it to be your time just to end up with a man who's not even getting married because he loves you? He's just doing it just to do it.
Are you in love with your wife? No, me either. What? I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's okay. It's overrated. No, listen, the wife. Okay. See? Now you explain that shit to me then. I had a feeling. No, I'm not in love with my wife. Why? I don't even know her. 7 years. Why? This is our 8th photo. We got married in 2016. This is year number 8. September 8th, we'll be married 8 years. No.
So much to unpack here. 2 married men, currently married, not, oh, did you love your ex-wife? Do you love your wife? Your current wife. Oh, we're about to go on 8 years. Don't love her. Never loved her. Don't believe in that shit. And now, and even, follow me for a second, right? Now, I don't like to go down this path, but sometimes it is the appropriate path. From one married man to another, why wouldn't you assume maybe I'm not happy in my marriage? Not you see another man and you feel the need to ask him, are you happy in your marriage? No, you're not. I figured that. I feel like that's something that someone is interested in another person would say to someone. You feel me? Like if I saw someone that I wanted to engage in extramarital affairs with, that is the conversation I would have. I would never, unprovoked, ask another married person, are they happy in their marriage? And also, these 2 men are well aware that they are unhappy, not even unhappy, that they don't love their wives. These are men you marry for love. These are men you marry because you love them. Looks, it's not giving Denzel, it's not giving Idris Elba, and it's not giving Mufasa. Finances. These are not wealthy men sitting there having this conversation. So that woman did not marry you for your money. She did not marry you for your looks. So that woman married you because she loved you. And he even said, oh, I'm sure my wife thinks she loves me. And then people will wonder why women are the ones that file for divorce. Men are willing to sit and live in misery just cause. And when women are like, no, they're like, we took a vow. You didn't even love me when you took that vow. You're doing it for what? You are doing it for what? Men tend to not marry or be with women long term that they truly desire. I came across another podcast. It's of this couple. I've seen them often on social media. They do a lot of like couple content. And they were doing a podcast. This is the first time I've seen them in sit down style talking. That wasn't a podcast, like wasn't a skit or something like that. And he brings up like Instagram girls, or like basically how he doesn't go after like super like attractive women, and his wife is sitting there and it's like, what do you mean you don't go after like really attractive women? And he's like, oh, they're just not like, you know, marriage material because they're just like too good looking. Like you want a girl that like basically homely to marry. Like he was saying like, and he's saying this, and you could tell his wife's face like, wait, what? And he's like, no, babe, like, I think you're gorgeous. Like, I think you're gorgeous. Like, let's not start, but I've told you before that, those women are like, they're like drop dead gorgeous. But I think you're really beautiful. So, don't feel offended. And she's like, clearly, like, the look on her face is like clearly offended, but she didn't want to say anything because they're rolling, and he just keeps digging and digging and digging. And so it's like, men will see the women that they want and they want to be with, but for either one, they feel like that woman is not in their price range. Looks wise, they feel like they will forever be in competition with other men because they don't feel as if they deserve that banging ass woman. And that's why sometimes, I'm not gonna say all the time, because sometimes you will get someone that feels like, damn, like, this is a bad bitch, like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to like keep her. And then some men feel like, why are you messing with me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when a woman has a lot going for her, it's like, okay, you're not crazy, you're really fucking pretty, and you got your shit together. So why would you be over here with me? When men do not think highly of themselves and they don't see the value in themselves, or when they don't have value to bring to a situation, or they can't match you, they automatically begin to be like, what the fuck is going on? So then what they will do is bring themselves down. And I think it's such a conflicting situation, because men talk shit about women that have these high, like, what they consider high expectations, but at the same time look at women weird that lower themselves to be with men. So it's like they look at you weird if you settle, and then like it's such a weird dynamic that it's very hard to like grasp in just this video, because there are people, and listen, I'm for people doing what they want to do, right? So I'm not gonna say I'm not anti-relationship, but my thing is, like, I don't believe in staying in a relationship just to either say you're in a relationship but we took vows. I'm not vowing to be miserable. Like, that sounds horrible. Like, oh, so what if you're no longer happy in your marriage? You made a vow. Baby, I get one chance at this thing called life. One. Why would I spend it knowing I'm miserable, knowing I don't like this person, knowing I don't want to be here? That makes no sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to a lot of women. That's why a lot of women leave. But men, they will stay married and then they will live their life and do whatever and fool la la. And it's also crazy to think that men feel like, those men sitting there feel like, oh, my wife thinks she's in love with me, or what, she's not really in love with me. But at the same time, let's move it towards sex, right? If your wife started like engaging in sexual activities with other people, not saying that she should, then men start to get on this train of like, oh, sex is emotional. And it's like, well, you're not in love with me, and according to you, I shouldn't technically be in love with you, or I'm not in love with you, and I've been having sex with you for years. So I don't know, I feel like that last part was, I don't know, it's just very odd to see, like,
I just saw a podcast episode where there are 3 married men on the podcast, and one of them asked the other, are you in love with your wife? And the dude immediately said no. And then the one asking the question says he wasn't either, and they both laughing. This is why people are saying their podcast equipment needs to cost more. Because to get on and laugh about not being in love with your wife is diabolical. I believe what they're saying in this is that they are not necessarily in love, but they are committed to love. And I don't understand why you can't be in love and committed to love. I think I heard the one who did all the laughing and giggling at first said he had been married for 8 years. And let me be clear, the rivers would never flow again if I heard that. Because most of us understand that when people are talking about being in love, they think falling in love, right? It's this newness, it's this freshness. I'm getting to learn you and know you. But you can also still be in love. Even though you're not in the newness phase, like I just met you type phase, that still is a thing. You also can totally be committed to your partner and engage with them. Because to me, the in love part is the part that you work on every single day to maintain. It's the part of the intimacy and the vulnerability and the transparency and the partnership and the friendship. It's the laughing and giggling in the wee hours of the morning. It's the date night and the fixing each other plates. It's the excited when they come home from a long day, from stints where you haven't got to see each other. That's the in love part. So I don't understand when these men is laughing about not being in love with their spouses. May that love never find me in my marriage, and may it never find you in yours.
Are you in love with your wife? No, me either. What? No, I'm not in love with my wife. Why? I don't even know her.
What are you doing? Why?
This is our 8th. Hold on, we got married in 2016. This is year number 8. September 8th, we'll be married 8 years. No.
So let me get this straight. They're trying to ban TikTok, but they're not doing anything about these men and these microphones? Look how these men just casually betray the wives they stood in front of God, family, and everybody else. The one they promised to love, honor, and cherish. They can just casually confess publicly to not meaning any of it. This is what I mean when I say don't think that a man loves you because he had a baby with you, loves you because he married you, love because he's with you. Like, if he didn't love me, why is he with me? It could be from any number of reasons. It doesn't have to be love. I think it was about a year ago, men were being asked, would you rather cheat on your wife or snitch on your homeboy?
I'm about to cheat on her. One goes down, we're all going down. Oh, that's light work. I'm gonna definitely cheat on my girl. Cheating right away. Immediately. Never snitching on my homies. I love my brothers too much.
See, they have no problem talking about how much they love their homies and how they would never betray them. Some men only have the capacity to love, honor, and cherish and be loyal to other men. Some men feel like women don't deserve their love. That man just confessed to being married for 8 years, and after being there with him through richer for poorer, in sickness and in health, through good time and in bad, she still hasn't earned his love. But I bet he got some homeboys that he loves. He keeps saying the quiet part out loud. Even marriage doesn't mean they love you.
You see the giggling, the laughing, the, oh yeah, me too. I don't love my wife. I'm not in love with my wife. So comfortable having the conversation. It shows how normal this is. Like, the other person was supposed to check him and be like, why would you say that? If it wasn't normal. The other person like, oh no, that you need therapy. There's a problem here. Or you need to break up. You need to let her go. But you're like, me too. Ha 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 ha. So it's normal. Like, it's a normal thing. Like, why should you be in love with your wife? Why should you love her? In another video, he said, I married her not because of who she is. I married her because of who I am, or something. They don't care, even if their wife sees the video, because it is something they even show them. Sometimes, in fact, I feel like men like this, even when the wife confronts them and say, oh, so you're not in love with me for years, and they'll be like, oh, I thought you knew. I thought we were committed. Like, it's trying to say we're committed. It's just like you being in a situationship with a person. They call it situationship. You're not in love, or you might be in love. One person can be in love, but both of you are doing things together, but you're not together. You know, we are committed, but we're not committed. We're married, but we're not in love. Why do you think, just like one of the creators said, why do you think your wife married you? They married you for love. They thought you loved them. And the crazy part is, this man will tell you they love you. I love you. They will love bomb you. That is kind of people that will love bomb you, and you think you found the perfect person. 8 years later, I've never been in love with my wife. I'm not surprised. And the thing is, see, before I used to say they should ban mics for podcasts, man, or when you want to buy mics and you say you want to do podcasts, you have to write interview and you must pass and tell us the things you want to say. Right now, they should not ban it. They should give all of them the mic. Let them talk. We need to hear them say the truth. Because sometimes it looks like we that were saying it, that this is how it is. Oh, it looks like you're over exaggerating. Can't be true. Men cannot. You cannot tell me that a man will not love his wife. You cannot tell me men hate women. No, you can't say that. Let them open their mouth and say it, so that maybe other women can believe that things like this are happening. Most married men don't love their wives. This is not the first time we're having this conversation. A lot of, and it's not that they say it like with their mouths, they act it. And when we see those acts, we say, this guy don't love you. This guy doesn't like you. It's just there, maybe because of you're cooking for him, or you're giving him daily smacks, or the house is clean, you're taking care of him. It's there because you're taking care of his children. Once he has gotten to a stage, it will leave you. Okay? We see those attitudes, and these are the kind of videos that later the women will come back and say, you all don't get it, my man loves me, my man loves me. They don't love their wives. Most of them don't love their wives. In fact, some of them say they love, but they might not really, really like their wife. They don't really like to spend time with their wife. They don't care about them. They don't know what they want. Some of them, if you ask them, why do you love your wife? The ones that say, I love my wife, ask them, why do you love me? And they mention the things you do for them, the labor you do. Those are the things. That's why they love you. If you stop doing those things, they don't love you anymore. You're useless. That's why you see men don't stay with a woman that is bedridden, that she's so sick and she cannot stand up from the bed, or she cannot pull by herself, or pee by herself. They will leave you. Or maybe you're blind, you got an accident, you cannot walk. They will leave you. Unless they married you like that. But if during the marriage you have kids and all of that, and you had that kind of accident, you will find out that your man is cheating on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they'll cheat on you with their full chest. Not that some cheating that the man will hide it. This one, they're not going to hide it, because they tell you, I need to satisfy myself. There's nothing you can do for me about that. But the other way, a woman will not do that to them. A woman would stay with a man till she can, unless the man has actually treated her bad from the beginning. If the man was a very good person to her, she will stay with him till the end, right? These men do not like their wives. They just like them for what they do. Tell him now to leave the wife and go marry somebody that he's in love with. He can't marry the person he's in love with, because the one that he's in love with will not do what the wife is doing, will not do the kind of labor the wife is doing, will not take the shit that the wife takes. These men intentionally pick women that would take their BS. Pick women that would be very forgiving. They pick godly women that put God first. When they do something wrong, they'll blame it to the devil, and they'll put everything in God's hands and try to make it feel like, oh, let God's will be done. Godly women. Women that will forgive you whatever you do, that will stick with you through thick and thin. These are the kind of women they want to marry and have kids with. The kind of women that they can even slap and she will still cook. The kind of women that when she cook and they don't like the food, she will cook another meal again. These are the kind of women they look for to marry. But you see, the ones that they can be in love with, they won't marry those ones, because she won't do all those sacrifices for them. Because when they know that when they marry those ones that they can be in love with, they have to be the ones to put in so much work for the marriage to stay, if that makes sense. So I personally am not surprised hearing, this from from a podcast man saying, oh, I'm not in love with my wife. Like, okay, bring it on. Let's see more of it. You guys should start saying the truth, because we need to hear the truth. What is your take on this video? Kindly share your thoughts down in the comment section. Respectfully, check out my David. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.